During history, many scientists were born and died. They were from different genders, races, and nationalities, but all of them had something in common. They all made questions about the world and the environment around them. One of these scientists made these questions. Why are animals and people the way they are? Why did we develop this way? Why are there different species of animals? The name of the scientist was Charles Darwin. During his life, he created theories in order to explain this type of question. Born on February 12 of 1809, Charles Robert Darwin was an English naturalist who invented the scientific theory of evolution by natural selection, which states that the most adapted individual would have more chances of surviving. An important event of Darwin's life that helped him develop his theory was his trip on the ship HMS Beagle across the world. During his trip, he discovered many fossils, which made him raise questions about the current paradigm. During his trip, he went to the Galapagos Islands. In those islands, he started noticing that there were many birds that were very similar between themselves apart from a few physical features living in separate islands. He also noticed that the differences that they had were mostly related to the kind of food that they could find in their islands. During his trip, he also noticed that there were more similar species that live in different locations, for instance, the rhea and the ostrich. After he came back to England, he started to analyze the data that he collected during his trip to the HMS Beagle, and when he finished doing it, he realized that they were all different species that had a common ancestor, that with passing time had adapted to live in different conditions, and because of that difference, they became different species. During that time, there was already another theory of evolution, but it was not accepted in whole society. According to that theory, the offspring would inherit the acquired characteristics of their parents. But Darwin thought in a different way. He claimed that it was not the animal that adapts itself to the environment, but that the most adapted animal survives and the less adapted die, so that only the most adapted kind would reproduce and pass on their characteristics. He named this process natural selection. At the time, he didn't say those ideas in public because they would be considered blasphemy, and he didn't have evidence to support his theory as a way to explain how species evolved. In the 1850s, the British society became a bit more open to the new ways of thinking. During those years, there were some thinkers that started to defend a more rationalist view to biology. One of them was Thomas Henry Huxley, who would become a great friend of Darwin. He would compliment Darwin in some points. While Darwin was introverted and disliked public speaking, Huxley was a man that liked to speak in public and wasn't afraid of saying things that were against the Anglican Church. But during those years, an event motivated him to publish his theory. When a naturalist named Alfred Russel Wallace sent him a letter describing his own theory of evolution, which would lead to the same process that Darwin was thinking. His book was published in November 24th of 1859, and it had a great impact on society as soon as it contested the idea that humans were the best creature in creation. The publication of his book was one of the biggest turning points in the history of biology. This was the first time that a big number of people would have access to Darwin's theory. His theory would later change the way that biology was organized, and it would also end the direct influence of the church in biology. Later, with the discoveries made in genetics, the modern theory of evolution was made. Darwin was still a crucial part of it, and will remain to be one of the most important people in biology and science. During history, many scientists were born and died. They were from different genders, races, and nationalities. Died. They were from different races, genders. I fucking hate myself. During time that the offspring during those years that were some an event motivated him.
This big brain time.
That was so unnecessary.